call.
Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon. So my line of questioning is around the criminalisation of wage theft. Since the criminalisation of wage theft commenced, could you please outline how many allegations relating to wage theft have been reported to the Fair Work Ombudsman?
I can tell you, while Ms Carey is becoming settled, who has responsibility for this area, that we have 2 current matters under investigation. As to the genesis of those matters, I think your question really goes to what actual complaints might have been received that have crystallised into investigations. I'll ask Ms Carey to speak to that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. Michelle Carey, Group Manager, Regulatory Transformation at the Fair Work Ombudsman. As Ms Booth just said, we have 2 active investigations at the moment. It's a bit difficult to answer the question as to how many allegations have been received in relation to wage theft. Obviously, the agency receives a number of requests for assistance from workers and through our intelligence channels and anonymous reports, so that's not data where we could necessarily provide you with a specific answer, but what we do in accordance with our compliance and enforcement policy and our prioritisation model, some water, my throat's very dry, is we obviously then assess those matters according to how they get treated. So the matters that are serious allegations of deliberate underpayment potentially come to the Criminal Investigations Branch, thank you, for assessment.
Okay. So there isn't really a way of finding out if, the number of allegations that then turn into, or at least have formal investigations initiated. But at this moment in time, we've only got 2 active investigations.
That's correct, at this point in time.
What we can tell you is that we get, around 200 last year, around 288 inquiries, 1,000 inquiries. We get of those inquiries, around sort of 18,500 become disputes, and we also do, of course, proactive work. We've conducted last year about 1,500 proactive investigations. So all of that, as well as having 15,000 anonymous reports, and those all come in, and then they are triaged, and some of them will make their way, a much smaller proportion, of course, would make their way to Ms Carey, and then a decision is made based on our compliance and enforcement policy about which we would actually investigate, and that's where you get the 2.
Excellent, thank you. So where appropriate, are you able to share how many investigations have resulted in referrals to the AFP or the Commonwealth Director of Public Prosecutions?
So no referrals have been made at this stage, Senator.
Beautiful. The 2023-24 budget allocated $49.5 million over 4 years to support the new criminal investigation function. Could you please provide an update on how that funding has been implemented, including how many staff are currently dedicated to wage theft investigations?
Thanks, Senator. So we've established a dedicated criminal investigations branch. That branch currently has 16.7 ASL allocated to it. There are 8 Fair Work inspectors that are badged inspectors, but I would make the point that whilst they're dedicated to the function, they're then supported by a range of other resources across the agency. So that includes our calculation analysts, our intelligence analysts, our in-house legal team, project support, and we also have support provided from external providers. So we have forensic support provided by a third party, and we obviously can call upon the Australian Federal Police for support in relation to warrant execution.
Wonderful. Okay, thank you. And in the 2024-25 budget, $1.9 million was allocated to pilot increased monitoring of wages under the Seagoing Industry Award 2020, particularly for seafarers on foreign vessels engaged in coastal trading. Are you able to share any early findings or observations from that pilot?
I'm going to ask Mr Campbell to address that, but we certainly have been active in that space, Senator.
Thank you.
But the detail will be in his briefs.
Yeah, it will be. Bear with me, Senator, because I just want to make sure that we're talking about the same thing.
because I know a few different topics have been discussed around Maritime in the House today. So you asked about the work that we're doing, the compliance and enforcement program we're doing with respect to coastal trading. Is that correct?
Yes, the pilot increased monitoring program.
So we have we designed a 2-year program where we agreed to conduct a series of investigations with respect to contraventions of the Seagoing Industry Award. We've so far conducted 28 investigations as part of that pilot. I think, if I recall correctly, we agreed to conduct 40 as part of the MOU we struck with the participants. We've been able to recover $783,000 for 209 crew members across those investigations.
Okay, great.
We
Thank
work
you.
closely with the other regulator, the Australian Maritime Authority.
Great, thank you. Obviously, without necessarily naming individual employers when matters are ongoing or currently under investigation, could you provide a sense of the sectors or types of organisations that have been the focus of wage theft investigations since the criminalisation commenced?
So you're going back to the general criminalisation. Yes. Again, I think I think Ms. Carey will be constrained in that regard because the matters are under investigation. But I'll turn to her.
Yeah, Senator, it wouldn't be appropriate to comment on the nature of any ongoing investigations, even disclosing, I guess, specifics as to the sector or even in general terms could prejudice ongoing investigations and lines of inquiry.
Okay, no worries. It was worth asking. In relation to the review of the Fair Work legislation amendment, Closing Loopholes Act 2023, could you please update the committee on how that review's progressing?
So, Senator Payman, that review, of course, is being undertaken by an independent reviewer, former Commissioner Susan Booth, with the support of the Department of Employment and Workplace Relations. So how it's going would be a question for the department. I can say that we have met with the reviewer and are providing whatever factual information she requires to conduct the review.
No worries. And is there, in your conversations, have you had any indication of the timeline of when that review might be completed? Or
I think the terms of reference do provide a timeline. I don't have it with me. Does anybody else have that? I think
that's fine.
It will be on the department's website, I'm anticipating.
Awesome. Thank you, Ms Booth. Appreciate it. Thank you, Chair.